Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm going to do a Bible journaling process video for you. I am working in Psalm 51, verse 10, and I have some watercolors pulled out. I have some neocolors pulled out, and we're just going to kind of play and see what we come up with. I will link everything that I use down below. Otherwise, I'll put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. All right, so this Bible journaling stemmed from a very anxious morning that I was having. And when I get anxious, I tend to get grumpy and moody and sometimes angry just because the anxiety feels like it's taking over. And so I wanted to take a little time to recenter and almost restart my morning. It's one of those times when it just feels like you wake up that way and there's not really a lot of explanation for why you might be feeling the way you're feeling. And I just didn't want to be dominated by those emotions. And so I looked at Psalm 51, verse 10, and it says, God, create a clean heart for me and renew a steadfast spirit within me. And I really just wanted to do a prayer journaling entry where I just asked God to reset my heart, renew my spirit in him, renew my willingness to just say yes to what he had for my day and to not be anxious or worried about what might lie ahead. Because I was feeling so much anxiety, I decided that watercolor was definitely the way to go. I always find it extremely calming. I love working with watercolor just because I like watching it move around the page. I like seeing the different textures and things that come across. So I just played with some very neutral colored watercolors, and now I have a beloved society girl. I loved her pink top, but the florals in her hair were a little too vibrant for me. So I have a tiny stamp from Felicity Jane, actually. And these are some tiny leaves, and I'm actually stamping them on a scrap piece of a printable that I have from Kelly Bangs, but I liked the fall feel and the color. So I'm stamping these tiny little leaves onto this little section of this printable, and then I'm just going to trim them out really quickly, really easily, but you can see they're so tiny. I'm going to use them to cover up the florals, the bright colored pieces that are in that girl's hair. I loved her crown. I love reflecting on being a daughter of the king and the crown that he gives us to wear. But I needed it to be a more fall themed crown for this particular spread. So I'm going to trim out all of these tiny little leaves, and then I'm going to put them into my Xyron sticker maker. Because they're so tiny, I find that it's easiest to create them to add adhesive using the Xyron. So I'm actually using tweezers to pick them up to make sure they go in the right way. You just put them in one end of the Xyron sticker maker, you pull out the other end, and they all have a sticky backing, which makes them, like it says in the title, turn into stickers, which is really easy to then put down on my beloved society girl. So I got all my little leaves right here, pull off the plastic, which pulls off all the excess stickiness, and then I'm just going to pick them up, and I'm very carefully using them to cover up some of the colors. So I don't mind the pinks in her hair, I don't mind the oranges in her hair, I didn't want the blue or the green, and so that was the priority on getting those pieces covered up first. You can see how it totally changes the feel as soon as you add those. I love being able to change up these beloved society girls. They're one of my favorite elements to use in journaling, like all of the time. So just changing it ever so slightly, customizing it is always a good time. All right, once that is done, this particular printable still had a little bit of a white border around it. So I want to trim it out because I really want her to become part of the background. I don't want that white border because I want to celebrate the watercolor that's already there. And then we're going to play a little bit more with some more mixed media. All right, she has that beautiful kind of rose pink, and so I have neocolors out now. I just did a few circles just because I wanted a very concentrated place of where that pink was going to be all around her. I'll end up adding it to a few other parts just to bring in that same color. I love neocolors and using them to kind of be really specific at where you want certain colors to be. They definitely have a watercolor feel. Before you start layering a ton, you will definitely want to dry in between. The watercolors I used, I should have mentioned, have kind of a metallic look to them. They're Prismacolor watercolors. I'll link them below. The palette you see open to my right has some metallic feel to them, which is always so fun. So I think the pink was a nice addition. I just need it to dry all the way. And now we're going to play with a little bit more Neocolor. This time I'm not going to activate it. I'm going to use this light yellow Neocolor to add some art marks across the page. And what I was thinking was that I wanted to have these up arrows because I wanted to put my thoughts on things above. I wanted to restart my day so it could go up. It was just, I wanted to think up, 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 keep your eyes up, keep your eyes on him, that kind of feel. So I wanted to add these art marks in the background just as a reminder. And sometimes mixed media, you guys, it can be so calming and it can be simple motions like that, and it just comes together and it feels so great to spend the time working on that. All right, now I'm going to start putting my elements on the top. I have this card from back in the spring from Illustrated Faith, and it says, a desire to love those around me well. And that was kind of my focus. I had all this anxiety, and when I feel overcome with anxiety, I don't tend to show up for the people around me. I don't tend to love in the way that I'm called to love because I'm very focused. It's kind of that fight or flight mentality. I'm very focused on just getting through that moment. And my desire to release that anxiety was more about being able to show up for those around me. So I'm going to have that um, little note right there, and we're going to put this together. My little Polaroid looking picture there will be where I can add some journaling. And then I will end up adding a stamp at the top as well. It's going to say start and end each day with grateful heart, because I feel like when anxiety is coming over me, it's kind of a symptom of not focusing on gratitude, not focusing on what I've been given already. So we're going to add that stamp again. It's from Felicity Jane. I also have this stamp from that same Felicity Jane set, and then this is a metallic gold ink pad that I got from scrapbook.com a long time ago, I feel like, but I'm sure it's probably still there. And I'm just going to add a few leaves in the background. Again, it's kind of working with that mixed media feel, lots of really gentle images and textures and watermarks in the background. I think really helped relax me on this particular day while I was journaling. So I'm going to fill in those areas, fill in a few of the open areas. I have an extra piece of paper hanging out so I can use it to cover up pieces that I don't want to get stamped on. But once that is done, I can add the stamp at the top and then go ahead and fill in my journaling. And on this particular morning, I wrote, Lord, renew my heart this morning, helping me to say yes to every opportunity that you show me today. And then, of course, the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and underline what is the focus verse and then add the date stamp. I get a lot of questions about my date stamp. It's actually the Studio Calico Mega Date Stamp. I love it. I've had it for years. It's fantastic. So I will try to link that in the description box as well. All right, that's going to be it for this Bible journal entry. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Like I said earlier, I will link all of the supplies that I use down below so you can be sure to check those out. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support. Just as a reminder, I have an extra bonus gift happening this month. So if you sign up at any tier on Patreon, you're going to receive in the mail 2 exclusive sticker sheets from me. And if you sign up at the $25 or the green level tier or higher, you're actually going to receive a whole junk journal Christmas kit from me as well. So check out Patreon in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.